The stock rear shock on my recoil was due for an upgrade. The DNM Air Shock was exactly what I was looking for. This Chinese-made air shock comes in a plastic bag with some basic instructions. I purchased the 190mm eye-to-eye shock with 50mm of travel. The shock did receive very favorable reviews online, and it comes in at a good price. If you ever ridden a full suspension mountain bike for long distances on concrete, you know that locking the suspension out is a must. This is one of the major reasons that I purchased the DNM shock. I was in desperate need of a shock with the ability to be locked out. Now, as with most new products, I usually toss out the instructions. However, I found these instructions provided me with some useful information. There is a helpful chart that shows what PSI values are needed based on your weight. Now, the next page has some illustrations that show you where all the components of the shock are located and what their names are. Now that we know everything there is to know about this shock, let's get on to installing it. First, we need to remove the old shock. I remove the screws up front first. Once those are removed, proceed to the single screw in the rear. There will be some spacers that come out when you remove the screw, so remember to keep track of them. The rear screw didn't want to come out all the way, so I had to use a set of pliers to pull it out the rest of the way. Once it is removed, hold the rear suspension swing arm back, or else it's going to slam against your frame, and we don't want that. It is important to pull the spacers out from the old shock, as the spacers that come with the new DNM shock are too wide to fit in my bike properly. Unfortunately, I figured this out the hard way. So now line up the spacers and then put the rear screw in. After the screw is in, hold back the rear suspension swing arm and install the front screws. Unfortunately, I didn't get this all on camera because when I went down to line up the front screw, my leg completely blocked my camera. So go ahead and tighten everything down. You don't want anything coming loose while you're on the trail. After everything is torqued down, pump up the air chambers to the values shown on the chart provided in the instructions. You need to use a high pressure air pump. I personally bought one off of Amazon, but I'm sure your local bike store would have one. I will be coming out with more videos on how the shock performs in real life, so please like and subscribe for more content like this, and I hope that you tune in next time.